Hello everyone, welcome back to Baixue's Chinese language learning program. We have already finished our learning of the basic knowledge of Chinese Mandarin Pinyin. I really hope you already know how to pronounce these initial, final, and tones. Today we are going to learn how to read a spell Chinese Pinyin. Actually, we have already learned how to read or how to spell Chinese Pinyin when we learned the finals. When I give you some examples for pronouncing the finals, I read the whole syllable with tones. Today, we will have a whole lesson to show you how to read Chinese Pinyin. From our previous classes, we mentioned a lot of times that Chinese character has only one syllable. Each syllable has three parts: initial, final, and a tone. But in some cases, the initial can be omitted. This means that some pinyin or syllables only have finals. They don't begin with an initial. These cases are called zero initial. Okay, for example, I means love, means goose, ao means lotus root, means sun. Okay, from this table we can see these cases they only have the simple vowels or the compound vowels. You need to read them directly with different tones. Okay, this is some case you need to know. Some syllable, they just don't have any initials. Okay, now we talk about how to read or how to spell Chinese Pinyin. There are three things we need to know about how to read or spell Chinese Pinyin. First, when you read a pinyin or syllable of Chinese language, you need to pronounce initial first, then from the initial to the vowel. Sure, except the zero initial, right? For example, when you pronounce zhang, you pronounce the initial zhi, and then you pronounce the final ang to make a syllable. At the end of the spell, you read the initial and final at the same time. That means you read the initial and final together, just like this. Zhi, ang, zhang. Zhi, ang, zhang. Yes, at the end of the spell, you read the final and the initial and the final together, just like you read a whole syllable. The second thing you need to know about how to read a spell Chinese Pinyin is, please don't make any pause between the initial and the final when you read Chinese Pinyin. For example, when you read ge wu gu, you read it as ge wu gu. But if you make a pause after you pronounce ge, and you will spell it as ge wu. This will be two characters. That means ge wu. That means song and dance. The totally different character. Okay? That means when you pronounce it, you pronounce the initial and the final and do not make any pause. And at the end of the spelling, you just read the initial and the final together. Ge wu gu, ge wu gu. The third thing we need to know about how to read a spell Chinese Pinyin is, please make sure to read the Chinese Pinyin with the correct tones. We have already talked about how important of the tones are in Chinese language Pinyin. Here's the example we talked about in our lesson 1. This sentence means 我可以问你一下吗 Can I ask you a question? Wu and wen have the first tone. But if you pronounce wu and wen with the third tone, that will be just like this. Wu and wen. That means kiss. So only one syllable with different tones can totally change the meaning of this sentence. 我可以问你一下吗 Can I ask you a question? 我可以吻你一下吗 Can I kiss you? Okay? So, when you read or spell Chinese pinyin, please make sure you read them with the correct tones. Okay, now I will take this sentence as an example to show you how to read or spell Chinese pinyin. You read the initial first and the final, and at the end of the spell, you read the initial and the final together with the correct tone. 我可E. This is a whole syllable. You just spell it directly with tones. E. Wu and wen. Ni. Xi ya xia. Remember, this is our mixed vowels we talked about in our previous class. 西呀下 mo a ma. This one without tone. This means it is a natural tone, okay? 乌我可以乌吻你西呀下 mo a ma. Okay, that's all for today. There is no homework for today. Okay, we will start to learn some Chinese characters with some simple conversation in our next class. So, but I still hope you can just practice some, some pinyin we learned in our previous class. You just practice how to spell or read the Chinese pinyin. Okay, 谢谢 Thanks. 再见 Bye. I'll see you next time.